So a lot of breaking news coming out of government this morning, ladies and gentlemen, and you know it's breaking news because I don't normally do this style of format. The title of this video speaks for itself. Rishi Sunak has sacked Suella Braverman. You see the article on your screen. Rishi Sunak sacks Suella Braverman as Home Secretary and begins reshuffle. Mr. Sunak is beginning his reshuffle with a general election likely to take place within the next 12 months. Oh boy, the cabinet makeup will now probably be the best team to fight the next vote. And I think, regardless of what side you're on with this whole issue, everybody saw it coming. It was pretty obvious. And it's been an issue I've refrained from talking about just because of the intensity around it. You say one thing, it upsets somebody. You don't say something, it upsets somebody else. I'll probably say something or already have said something that hasn't gone down too well. That's just the nature of giving your opinion. I'm not going to say something just to be liked by everybody. Now, for those of you that don't know why Suella Braverman has been sacked, a few days ago she posted a controversial article in the eyes of many, all to do with the pro-Palestine marches that were taking place, especially on Armistice Day. If we head down in this article by Sky News, they detail it just a little bit. Last week, Ms. Braverman wrote a newspaper article that accused the police of playing favourites as she criticised the Metropolitan Police's handling of a controversial pro-Palestinian march for Armistice Day. The Prime Minister came under pressure to act after Ms. Braverman was accused of undermining the operational independence of and public confidence in the police. Critics from both opposition parties and fellow Tory MPs called Ms. Braverman's comments offensive and inflammatory. If we head over to this BBC article, it details just a little bit more what she said. In her article, Ms. Braverman, who declined to talk to reporters earlier as she left her home, claimed aggressive right-wing protesters were rightly met with a stern response, while pro-Palestinian mobs were largely ignored. Obviously, the wording around that didn't go down too well, and of course saying that there was a double standard. She went on to say police were applying double standards and played favourites when it comes to demonstrators. A source close to the Home Secretary said she had met with Met Police Commissioner Sir Mark Rowley this afternoon to discuss the policing of demonstrations to be held tomorrow on Armistice Day. The Home Secretary emphasised her full backing for the police in what will be a complex and challenging situation and expressed confidence that any criminality will be dealt with robustly, the source added. And of course, for those of you that paid attention to Armistice Day this weekend, there were a lot of intense situations. There were counter-protesters who turned up, and obviously she's being blamed for that, and they were met with an intense response by the police. And she also caused a lot more trouble in an interview where she called these protests hate marches. Now, the reasonings as to why she said that is because of the small minorities we've seen, and we've seen videos go viral of people chanting certain things that, is just inexcusable to be chanting in the streets in this country that shouldn't be happening. It's gone down the wrong way, and people are saying, well, she's supporting the other side or whatever. Don't disagree with people protesting, because if people want to clamp down on protesting, there will come a time where people want to protest for something but won't be able to. But there is a line of respect. That weekend is supposed to be about remembering fallen soldiers. But it seems like with this whole situation, people didn't really speak about it as much. We always say you'll never be forgotten about, they won't be forgotten, but because of this whole situation, the conflict, articles, counter-protesters, protesters, let's just be real, were they not forgotten about? That is sad. And then when you see the nation's flags being taken down on cenotaph and stuff, that shouldn't be happening either, because when you take them down, you're saying we're scared that this flag could incite some violence. You've seen stories with poppies and stuff like that. That isn't standing up for British values. And what I care about most is the UK, British values, and the British people. And when you act in that way, you're going against those whole things. And as well, we see pride flags all the time. For a whole month, nothing's done about that. They're never taken down. But the Union Jack gets taken down because they're scared of what could happen. How can you act like that? How can you? Yeah, okay, Suella Braverman's article is controversial, but it's her opinion. Is it a crime? No. Now, she's obviously being blamed for the situations that took place, but she didn't commit a crime. She just gave her opinion. Counter-protesters, as the media calls them, and, pro-Palestine marches, the intensity around it still would have happened. People still would have turned up. It still would have happened, regardless. She's probably looking at it and thinking, in hindsight, and hindsight is a great thing, maybe I shouldn't have posted that article because, still it would have gone down and I would have kept my job. But the reaction to her sacking hasn't gone down too well from people who align themselves with the Tory party. If we go back to this Sky News article very briefly, she was asked to leave her job this morning by Rishi Sunak. In a statement released after her sacking, Ms Braverman said, "It has been the greatest privilege of my life to serve as Home Secretary. I will have more to say in due course." Remember, it is the second time Ms Braverman has lost her job, however, of Home Secretary after she resigned from Liz Truss's government, breaking the ministerial code. Mr Sunak reappointed her less than a week later when he took over as Prime Minister. In a post on the Conservative Party's social media, it claims Mr Sunak's reshuffle today strengthens his team in government to deliver long-term decisions for a brighter future. Yeah, I don't think the reaction to this on social media is saying the same thing from what I see anyway. In an unexpected turn of events, former Prime Minister David Cameron. You want to win an election and you're bringing in David Cameron, that's insane. But he was seen entering Downing Street shortly after the reshuffle started. And if we head over to X, I believe he is actually being given a job. David Cameron has been appointed Secretary of State for Foreign, Commonwealth and Development Affairs. Again, that's not gone down too well. I'll say, the sacking of Suella Braverman, a lot of people will say it's deserved, she shouldn't have said what she said, etc., etc. Obviously, the liberal mainstream media ran it, they said she should be gone. But the sacking of her isn't great for Rishi Sunak. People on social media are saying it's the end of the Conservative Party. It's hard not to agree because it shows weak leadership. Regardless of where you stand on this issue, it shows weak leadership because you stand by her 1 minute, which he did, and then a few days later, a couple of days later, she's sacked. Weak leadership. He can't stand by what he says. You can't face the controversy head on. You show you have no spine and you just get rid of her. I don't know if he's looking to the next election that is coming up and thinking, right, I need to get rid of people that are causing me and my party to have a bad image. But I tell you now, this man, this party, they ain't winning. No way are they winning. No way, Jose. It's not happening. They're done. All right. I think most people can agree with that one. I don't see them winning in any way, shape or form. This sacking as well kind of emphasizes that whole point. Let's just talk about briefly what happened over the weekend. Again though, over the weekend, far-right protesters clashed with police in Westminster. Elsewhere, pro-Palestinian marches also ended with arrests. Speaking to Sky News this morning, however, Armed Forces Minister James Hippie became the latest member of the government to distance themselves from Ms Braverman's words, joining Defence Secretary Grant Shapps and Chancellor Jeremy Hunt. It's interesting how they distanced themselves, but Rishi Sunak in the beginning stood by her. But the move will anger some in the party. Tory MP Andrea Jenkins said on X, "I support Suella Braverman, sacked for speaking the truth, bad call by Rishi caving in to the left." It really sets a bad tone for sacking someone for saying an opinion, right? Because what it says to everybody is you must say the right thing that everybody likes, or you could be sacked as well as, however, Ms Braverman being sacked, a number of junior ministers also left government. Nick Gibb, who has been a minister in the Department for Education for much of the past decade, announced he was standing down. Neil O'Brien said he had asked to return to the backbenches from his role as a junior minister in the Department for Health and Social Care. This whole issue is tearing the country apart. It really is. You only need to see the videos on social media to see there is a lot of tension. And what I care about most is British people and the country, the United Kingdom, right? So when you see this issue tearing everybody apart, then I have a problem with that, and you're allowed to think like that. You're allowed to have that opinion. It's not wrong to have that opinion. As many people would say, being patriotic about your country right now is the wrong thing to do. No, it's not. People can have an opinion on what they think is going on, and people shouldn't be fired or whatever for having those opinions. I don't agree with everything she says. I don't agree with a lot of what politicians say today, but do I think people should be fired? No, because if it's the other way around, nobody's getting fired. That's just my opinion on this. Again, probably not go down too well, people expecting you to say something, but that's just how I feel on this, and let me know how you guys feel. Do you think Suella Braverman should have been sacked? Do you think her article was wrong? I'd like to know. If you have enjoyed today also, then please, for me, make sure to leave a like rating as it really, really helps out the video. If you're new, hit that subscribe button and turn on bell notifications so you never miss a video. Share this video. But until next time, it has been your boy JD. Have a great day, stay safe, and I'm out. Peace.